Hey guys, we're going to do class a little bit differently. We're going to do a tutorial on clone shots. So this is based on the shots that you have. What you're going to do is you're going to collect the 9 shots that you're using to produce 3 different clone shots. So that's at least 3 images per shot. Or I guess we made it 2 images per shot, no more than 5 per shot. But you are going to end up with 3 cloned shots. Alright, so what you're going to do first is, just like always, you're going to format 8 by 10 with the highest resolution you can in Photoshop. So I'm going to bring in the 3 images that I'll use for a sample. So this would be just as if they were coming right off of the camera raw. Kind of a ridiculous couple of shots here, but they're fun nonetheless. Looks like it brought just that one in, so I'm going to get the others. There we go. So now we have all 3. What I'll need to do first is I want to make sure that these are all cropped the very same way. Remember, the backgrounds have to match up exactly. So the fixed ratio is going to be 10 by 8. I'm going to go ahead and just crop it from, we'll say, the very right corner. Just because I know that my right shot is kind of off of the page slightly. This will give me enough room to make the shot happen. Actually, you know what? It looks like the one on the left is probably a little bit further off to the left than I would like to see it. So I think I'm going to move this over to the left side. Remember, the backgrounds have to be cropped at the exact same place so the backgrounds all match up. So I'm going to crop there, image size, and I'm going to make sure that my resolution is as high as possible just by changing that to 10. Got to make sure you uncheck resample image so it keeps the resolution. So mine's going to be 243. I'm going to hit OK there. I'll do that same exact thing to the rest of the images that we have. Remember that you have to make sure the background is in the exact same spot, otherwise they will not match up. Can't emphasize that enough. Image size. Resample image is unchecked, so that'll allow me to have the correct dimensions. Got to crop it first. Crop, so it gives me 8 by 10. Image size, make the width 10. And same thing for the very last image. Hopefully I'm not off of the page too much on this right side. Image, crop, make this 10. So now all of the images have the exact same background, the exact same dimensions, and we have our 8 by 10 at as close to 300 resolution as possible. The next thing you want to do, and there's a couple of ways to do this. The easiest way is to drag one of these pictures out. You want to choose one to be your top image. If you drag out that window, let me do it again. Alright. If you drag this out, it creates a new window in Photoshop. That makes it a little bit easier for you to put these right on top of each other. I'm going to pick this this picture on the left as my base image to combine all of these in. Okay, I'm going to try to move through this a little bit quicker just because my screen capture software only likes to do 5-minute increments. So I'm going to get my tool, my move tool. As you can see, the two backgrounds match up. Now I need to do that for the third one. We could just drag it from the picture window directly onto the other images. That's another way to do it. The main thing is you want to try to combine all three images into the same picture. So when you look at your layers palette, you have 3 different images. I'm going to name them appropriately so I know which images are which. I'm going to call this one middle, this one left, and my base image, the first one I worked with, I'm going to call that right. We're going to use the mask tool in order to erase parts of the top images so we can see through to the bottom images. So starting with the top image, we're going to use the mask tool. The mask tool can be found in the bottom of the layers palette. It's a rectangle with a circle. So I'm going to make sure that my top layer is selected, and I'm going to select the mask, and then you want to use your brush. Your mask will not work unless you have black selected as your foreground color. You can increase the size of your brush. And now we can use the mask. Make sure the mask is selected, not the image. You can do both of those, but you need to make sure that the mask is selected, not the image. That way we can erase the top part of that. What we're going to do is I'm going to erase the left part of the middle image so I can see the left portion of it. If the backgrounds match up perfectly, this should be the easy and fun part. You want to make sure that you're not erasing any part of the middle image, though, otherwise it won't match up very well. Okay, I'm going to work quickly, but you guys will want to fine-tune this and really make sure that you're zooming in and getting all of the detail work done so it matches up really, really well. Okay, that's the mask on the top image to see the second image. Now, in order to see the very bottom image, I'm going to also need to mask the right side of the top image. So, using that brush tool in the mask, oh, I had a slight issue there. Okay, using the mask on the right side of the image, go ahead and mask away everything on the right side of the top image now. Now notice that the background's not, the images are matching up, but the lighting is slightly different with each of the images. Those are something that you're going to have to sort of work with. If you've taken the same shot in the same environment, it won't be that big of a deal. You won't notice. Alright, so now if we see bottom image and the top image, all 3 images are there, but notice that we can't see the right image anymore. That's because we also need to make sure we can see through the middle image to the very bottom image. Think of it as transparencies, like old transparency pieces of paper that you can see through each other. Now, one of the reasons why the mask isn't working all the way through is because it needs to be 100%. I don't want to look like I'm sort of a ghost. I want to bring myself all the way into the image. Once you're done with that, once you're done with your masking, take a look at the layers palette. So the top image has both sides masked out. The middle can't be masked out because I need that top image. The middle only has the right side left. Okay, part 3 of our cloning. We want to make sure that we have all of our images set up. And in our layers palette, that top image has to be able to show through both of the second images. So we're using the brush. You got to make sure the mask is selected. Remember, the mask tool is down here at the bottom of the layers palette. You use your brush and you mask away the top image in order to see the bottom images. The better job you do with the brush tool, the better it's going to come out. So take your time. I'm doing this quickly. I want you to make sure you take your time. If your backgrounds don't seem to match up very well, then you need to move those images slightly. So you can get on the move tool, and if your backgrounds aren't matching up the way you'd like them to be, then you can move them in order to make them match up. If you shot these correctly, then you won't have any issues with the images matching up. As soon as you're done masking, you're going to file, you're going to save as, and make sure that you have a PSD, which is your working file, clone.psd. That's just for your records, so you can always go back and edit it in case you need to. Then you want to save a flattened version, which is going to be a JPEG. And you're going to call this week 7 underscore clone 01. That'll be your first clone image. So essentially you can have at the very least 6 images that you're working with to create 3 cloned images. Those are going to be your best 3, or your 3 cloned images, your 3 different clone stories. I'm going to close out of here and I'll show you what I have in my folder. We have the 3 raw images, we have a PSD, which is the raw files combined, and then we have a final image that you can use as your best, one of your best 3. So you'll have week 7 underscore clone underscore 01, 02, and 03. You'll zip those up, and that's going to be the final post-production work that you add into the Dropbox under week 7. Take your time with that. We're going to do another tutorial today at 12:30, so that gives you plenty of time to work on these, but please take your time, do it carefully, run through these videos as much as you need to. If you have any questions at all, feel free to email me, and I will be able to do a live chat with you at 12:30 today. So try to get done around noon, take a little bit of a break, and then at 12:30 you'll have instructions in week 7 lessons folder to log into a live chat session, because we're working remotely today. So thank you, and like I said, if you have any questions, let me know.